Good afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist and forecast, and welcome back to another update, guys. As you can tell, this is going to be the second video of the day, so we have one more to go. But this is going to be a bit different. This is not going to be on the tropical weather, as you can tell. I wanted to change it up just a little bit. This is going to be my second preliminary fall forecast. It's been I think it's been exactly around a month since I've done it. So I just thought I should do my second one, and then my third one should come out at late August. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it does help. Before we get to this video, be sure to like the video so it lets me know you guys like more videos like these, like seasonal forecasts. Also, be sure to share this channel, so if you know anyone who would want to know ahead of schedule what fall will look like. Or also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, if you want more videos like these. So if you guys want to know what's going to go on this fall based on all the forecasts and ahead of schedule and all that, that'll be coming right up. So as you can tell, we're going to be looking at the ENZO or ENZO summary, what we have right now. So as you can tell, we do have an El Nino is present. As you can tell, I want you guys to know that it has not gone away yet. The El Nino is diminishing again, but it is still present though. And the El Nino, if you guys want to know basically if it's going to be an El Nino or not, we'll read down here a transition from El Nino to ENZO neutral is expected in the next month or two, with ENZ neutral most likely to continue through the northern hemisphere fall and winter. So it is very, very likely in the next month or two to become a neutral. So very, very soon we can have it become a neutral just before the fall temperatures start to come in, right before the fall months come in. So it's going to be basically maybe late August or September where we can have it finally become a neutral, and that there's a very, very good chance of it staying as a neutral for the fall months and winter months. So we just need to think it's going to be a neutral, and that's how we're going to make our forecast. So that was a quick look at the summary. Now we're going to be looking at the temperatures in the sea for the last 4 weeks. I know this really is not super duper important, but during the last 4 weeks, SSTs have remained near to below average in the eastern equatorial Pacific and above average around the date line. If you guys want to know what that basically is, if it's above 0.5, it's above water, above average temperatures there, and if it's negative 0.5 to negative 3, it is below. So all the way to the 24th of July. So the past 4 weeks, and we're a whole month, we want to see basically if it's been changing, how the sea temperatures have been changing. So as you can tell, we have been seeing a whole lot of cold temperatures off the coast of South America there. And just this week, we have actually been seeing cooler temperatures start to get a bit more colder. We are seeing some more cooler temperatures out in the ocean off the coast. Since the 17th of July, we have been seeing some more cooler temperatures. And if we look at all the 4 weeks, we have been seeing a spread. We have seen warmer temperatures spread into the Central Pacific. As you can tell earlier, the first couple weeks it was staying over here, but it has spread a little bit. So it is showing those. That's why we do have the model showing it intensifying with bigger chances of El Nino, because if we looked at last time, they were everyone's talking about how they were going to go to La Nina, but then after that all the models started going neutral or El Nino. So now the chances for El Nino have gone up a whole lot, but neutral is the biggest chance right now. But again, if you guys want to know what the past month had the oceans look like, again, this is the first week of July. We've had some very, very warm temperature out there to the western Pacific, and then we had it widespread into the central Pacific now. So that's why we are seeing these chances for El Nino start to hype up a little bit. Now we're going to be looking at the NOAA operational definitions for El Nino and La Nina. So if you guys do not know what a El Nino or La Nina is, why we keep on saying this and all that, if you want to know what that is, here's what the definition is, the best definition basically. And also, when we look at the models ahead of this, you'll be seeing, oh, that's what it says. So El Nino's right here. El Nino is characterized by a positive ONI greater than or equal to plus 0.5 Celsius. So when you ever see the models go plus 0.5 Celsius or above, that's when they're showing El Nino. On the other hand, La Nina is the opposite. It's characterized by negative ONI, less than or equal to negative 0.5 Celsius. So anything lower than negative 0.5 Celsius is La Nina. And then from plus 0.5 Celsius to negative 0.5 Celsius, in between that is a neutral. So we're gonna be seeing these Celsius numbers a whole lot in the next couple of slides. So then I said this for you guys will understand what it is. So we're just going to be reading a little bit of what it says. By historical standards, to be classified as a full-fledged El Nino or La Nina episode, these thresholds must be exceeded for a period of at least 5 consecutive overlapping 3-month seasons. So again, we can't really say it is going to be a La Nina if we see it plus 0. Or if we can't say it's going to be El Nino if it's been plus 0.5 Celsius for only a day. Like we can't say that it's going to be for a longer period, more than 3 months in that season, to say it will be that for the season and to continue into the next couple of seasons, if you guys understood that. So that now that you guys have learned basically the definition, I just need to move this a little bit. Now you guys have learned the definitions of hopefully what a La Nina and El Nino is and how to identify it. So now we're going to be looking at what the models show La Nina, El Nino, or neutral. So as you can tell, ENZ neutral is favored to emerge in the next season and to then continue through the Northern Hemisphere fall and winter 2019-2020. So again, everyone's favoring neutral for this. If you guys don't understand this, these are the chances here, and these are the models. So 100% chance, here's 50% chance, here's 0% chance here, and here are all the models. So the blue is La Nina probability, right here, these blue little bars there. The gray is a neutral forecast probability, and then the red is a El Nino forecast probability. So as you can tell here, this gray line all across here is the 50% chance of it happening. As you can tell, the blue one's always lower than the red and gray, which is La Nina. So the La Nina does not go above 15% chance. The NDJ is the one that favors it the most with 15% chance there, and then some actually, so 0% chance. If we look at the red now, that's El Nino. You can tell there's a lot higher. The highest is actually now at 50% chance. So the highest one is the JJA, which it forecasts 50% chance for El Nino to continue into the fall and winter 2019-2020. And then I see the other ones. So most of the models do show the El Nino probability staying at around 30 to 40%. That's for the most of it, which is not too high. But again, the El Ninos did go a whole lot down. They went up to possibly 20% chance, and so they have risen. But again, the neutral is the most favored. Every single model does show neutral bigger than El Nino. So we actually, the most is 60% chance. The SON or Sun and the ASO both show it actually going more than 60% chance, and then the other models that don't show above 50 do stay at around 40 or 45, but they still show a higher probability. So in the gray, that's neutral. So as basically what you learned here is that all the models here have forecasted a neutral to go on to the Northern Hemisphere for the fall and winter months, and they all favored it. Now we'll be looking at these spaghetti models here, and this is where you needed to learn what the El Ninos or La Nina mean. So this is what all the models are here, and here is negative 0.5 Celsius all the way down here is La Nina, and then from 0.5 above is El Nino. So here I want to draw a box here. A box here. This is the box for a neutral. As you can tell, a whole lot of models do show a neutral. Hold on, let me actually draw this again. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but this is a box for a neutral. As you can tell, a whole lot of models do show it going inside that box for neutral, again, from 0.5 to negative 0.5 Celsius, all in between. So we actually have around 60 or 70% of the models show it neutral. All these models here, again, all lined up here. And then we actually let me draw the El Nino line here. Gosh, I cannot get this thing to be even. So here's the El Nino line. Basically, as you can tell, we actually still have a whole lot of models favoring El Nino. We do have the most positive number we have is 1.0 Celsius, which is actually still into El Nino. It's actually above the standards of El Nino. And if what you guys want to know is that none of the models show it getting to a La Nina. None of them right now. One actually does show it going to the 0.6 negative Celsius, which is actually not really a whole lot of probability of having La Nina. So what you learned basically here is that a lot of them are still favoring a neutral or El Nino. So guys, now we're going to be looking at the El Nino pattern for those people who don't know what an El Nino pattern is or what it looks like. So we have this subtropical jet stream that pushes in right here, and then we actually have the other jet stream that brings in warm and dry air here. Let me actually switch colors here. So that subtropical jet stream, again, as you can tell, it's subtropical, so it brings in some tropical conditions, which is wet. It brings in some wet conditions for the southwest. So if you want wet into the southwest, you actually want to favor El Nino. So we have it's going to bring a whole lot of wet for the southwest and actually for some of the areas in the south central. And then it brings in a huge blast area of cold air for the deep south. So you may have cold air into the southeast in a neutral, but that's more to the northern south. But if you want to get cold air in the deep south, so all the way to El Paso, Texas, and all there, New Orleans, you want a neutral, or sorry, not neutral, an El Nino. That's going to go all the way to the deep south. So it's going to bring some cool air all the way for Dallas, Houston, Miami, Atlanta. So the deep south will get that cold air. And then here we have that jet stream bringing it for the north. That will bring the opposite conditions for the northern part of the country. That will bring in some warm conditions for the Ohio Valley, for parts of the Midwest, for parts of the northern plains, and then just the northern part of the country. And then for the Ohio Valley, that will also bring in dry conditions for the Ohio Valley. So Kentucky, Chicago is going to be warm. Pittsburgh can actually be in the dry conditions there. Minneapolis, Billings, Montana, they will all be in the warm. So it's going to be the opposite in each part of the country. But as you can tell with the La Nina, that's actually going to be the opposite too. So it's going to bring in the opposite of El Nino. So it's actually going to bring in the subtropical, the Pacific jet or the subtropical jet stream come over here to the northern part of the country there, and then bring the jet stream out here to the south. So that will actually bring in some dry conditions for the southwest and the deep south, not the southeast, but just the deep south. So if you live in southern Georgia and the Gulf Coast, that's where you see some dry conditions. And then for the southwest, that will bring in some dry conditions. And then that's going to bring some warm conditions out there for the northern part of the south, or just in general for the southeast. It's going to bring warm conditions, but also it would actually bring some wet conditions down for the Ohio Valley and for the Pacific Northwest. So if you want some rainy conditions there, and then that would bring in that huge polar jet here to bring in some very, very cold air for the northern part of the country there. So if you want cool air into the northern plains, that's where you want La Nina. So now we're going to get to my forecast now. So as you can tell, we do have, here's the precipitation map right here. It is quite similar to the winter outlook. You might be thinking, is this the same? It actually is not. I made this yesterday, but it's not the same. But we will be seeing a whole lot of the country seeing above average precipitation here, and then we will be seeing some drier conditions out there to the west. But we will be seeing slightly above average precipitation out there all the way to the New England area, all the way to parts of the Midwest. If you're in the first shade of green, that's where you have slightly above average precipitation. So if you're in that green shade, you could see slightly above average precipitation. Now into the second shade of green, that's actually above average precipitation. That's all it is, above average, and it's that second shade right here. So if you're in that green, so for parts of the Ohio Valley, northern Appalachian Mountains, and parts of the Ozarks, that's where you see above average precipitation. And then it doesn't look like we're going to have a whole lot slightly above, or below, sorry, not a whole lot, slightly below average precipitation, but we will be seeing some below average precipitation out there to the southwest. So not slightly, but the second shade, so just in general below. So if you're in there in the southwest, you can actually expect some warmer temperatures, or not, some warmer temperatures and some dry conditions. Now we're going to be looking at the temperature anomaly now. This is not, I just made this again yesterday, so it's nice and refreshed and all that. So we are going to potentially just see some slightly below average temperatures out there. So again, Not going to be too cold, not going to be too warm. So it's looking like it's going to be a cool and slightly warm fall for some areas. So if you're in the first shade of the blue, you could see slightly below average temperatures. So you can see some cold blasts out there. And at some point, at sometimes, it could bring in some cold air again for the southeast. But again, this is all in general for all the 4 months of fall. It doesn't mean it's gonna be like this every day or every week. It's just all in general for for all the 4 months. So again, don't be like, oh, one day it's not gonna be like this. We might have cold air. Again, this is just in general. And then we will be seeing that cold air for areas of the plains, all the way to the Tennessee Valley area to the Midwest. So you guys can see slightly below average temperatures. I really don't think we're going to have a huge cold blast, really. I think that just might be the end of fall, but I don't want to put that for, in general, all of fall. And then for the first shade of orange, that's where we can see slightly above average temperatures. So you won't actually really feel it a whole lot, maybe only a degree or two above average. So it's not going to be like those 12 degrees above average to the southwest. Not like it's not going to be like that right now. You won't even really feel it every occasion, really. Maybe sometimes might have a warm front, but there's nothing. If you really want cool weather and you're in the first shade of orange, there's not really a whole lot of complaining a lot right now because it's only slightly above average. So now we're going to be looking at my general forecast. So we're going to be taking a look at the red first. So if you are actually in the red all the way from Delaware to the southern tip of Texas, so if you're in the red again, that's where we actually have some tropical concerns. I actually think we still have the East Coast still. I think we still need to worry about that this fall, especially maybe October, the beginning of October and late September. That's where we can actually have the biggest concerns out here for the East Coast in the red. And then I believe we could have the southern Gulf Coast too that has some concerns this September and October, especially for this area. I think we could have another Harvey, but a bit later. But again, if you're in the red, you could see some tropical concerns. In the blue now, all the way, basically most of the East Coast there. So if you're in the blue, all the way from New England, from Maine, all the way to Oklahoma, that's where we can actually have some chilly air. I know I put some of you guys over there in the blue above average temperatures, but again, I think we still have some chilly air or some cold blasts coming in your area. But again, it's 4 months. I can't put every single thing exactly, but I still think we should have some chilly air in the blue areas. Now we're going to be looking at the purple. I think we have some Arctic blast out there for the Midwest and to the Ohio Valley. So yeah, you guys are in those slightly below average temperatures because of these Arctic blasts. So if you're in the purple, so if you're in the Midwest, for the Dakotas, all the way to the St. Louis area to the Ohio Valley, that's where we can expect Arctic blasts. And then if you're wondering what this yellow is for much of the central part of the country, so for all the way from Montana, basically from Canada to Mexico, we will have some flip-flop. If you guys are wondering what the flip-flop is, it's basically the flip-flop is we're going to have conditions just flip back and forth. So we're going to have some slightly below average temperatures and then some slightly warmer temperatures. So I can't really put a whole lot there. It's just going to be a flip-flop of temperatures. It's not going to be one thing. It's going to be going back and forth to warm and cold. So if you're in the flip-flop, honestly, you're going to see a variety of things to worry about this fall. Now on the white, that's actually where we can actually have some mountain snow. I could not find a good color to go on a white. But again, if you are in this white for the Rocky Mountains out there from Montana, Idaho, northern Utah, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming, I think we should have some mountain snow this fall out there. I'm going to put just that early fall snow there. Again, once it gets closer to fall, I'll have some more white colors come in there. And then for the light green, not dark green, I put a light green this time. That's where we can see some wet conditions out there. I know I didn't put above average precipitation here, but I think we're just gonna see some more rain showers come in these areas. Not necessarily above average precipitation. I just think we're just gonna see some more rain showers that won't bring a whole lot of precip. So again, all the way from the Four Corners to San Francisco to Seattle and to basically the West Coast, the northern West Coast, I think we can have wet conditions. And then for the orange, I think we should have dry conditions. I think we all agree with that for now. Again, it could change. So for the Southwest. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.